What's up, Insta? And what's up, Facebook? And what's up, YouTube? Jeff Lerner here. I see Stone Abbott has joined. What's up, Stone? What's up, Guero? What's up, Jason? What's up, Tex? What's up, Jacob? What's up, Josh? What's up, Nas? So many amazing people popping on. Appreciate everybody showing up. As always, you might have thought I wasn't going to make it today, but I did. I do. Better late than never, right? It's been a crazy day. Man, I got a lot to cover. Actually, I really do have a lot to cover, but man, all these notes. What's up, Chadrick? What's up, Christian? Man, I just appreciate all the kindness, all the good words, all the good people. Hang on, I got to undo this. I got to having a little bit of a situation here, trying to keep my phone vertical. Moda, what's up? I know that's not your name. That's your YouTube handle. But anyway, it's great to see everybody here. So we got a lot to cover. Stella, where'd you go? My daughter was here. Stella! I hope she didn't fall in the pool. Hang on a sec. I told her, I was like, you can hang out here while I do my live, but you can't talk. I said you can't be too noisy. And then now she disappeared. So I guess she didn't like the idea that she wasn't allowed to be super loud. Anyway, I checked the pool. She went out. She probably went back in the house. And the good news is she's not floating in the pool. So anyway, what are we going to talk about? Jen, appreciate that. Brian, what's up, my man? And so, gosh, this live is about e-commerce. This live is about success. This live is about awesomeness. This live is about excellence. This live is about how to create the life of your dreams. That's what all my lives are about. But in general, or I should say specifically, the topic was e-commerce, getting started with an e-commerce business, which basically means digital real estate. This concept that we talk about at length inside of Entre, my community, we have this idea, digital real estate. And if you're not familiar with that term, what I've done and what I'm attempting to popularize is a reconception of internet-based business, digital marketing business, really what I consider 21st century new economy entrepreneurship. Joe, glad you're here, man. As something that is not what is often popularized or talked about online as like this quick hit way to make a buck. I'll tell you, I've been broke. What's up, Jeff? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Damien? Oh man, so many good people here. I can't even keep up. Melissa, thanks for being here. Christian, the internet, and I'm sure the reality is most people now, they've experienced this. This year, 2020 is the year that what I do and what I talk about and what I've done, which is building modern day new economy businesses that empower the entrepreneur and even the solopreneur, the person that doesn't have a big company, doesn't necessarily want to build a big company, take on all the cost and liability and expense and infrastructure and frankly, the headache of building a big company. And I'll be honest, I'm a glutton for punishment. I love it. I think it's fun. I love building businesses. And what I know happens for a lot of people is once they start seeing the power of entrepreneurship and how you can create offers and put them out to market and not only get well paid in the process, but also be solving problems and building goodwill in the market. Once people experience that, then they start to get hooked. And this is what happened for me. You're like, hey, this is fun. I wonder what it would take to really grow this thing and scale this thing. And then you might be like me and go, I want to learn about business management and process and systems and operational frameworks and want to scale it into a big business. But it's not the typical model of go to school, get an MBA, learn about how to start a business, and then go get a job making some other person rich. It's like, hey, start small, start your own thing, create your own little human experiment of delivering value to the market and solving problems, and experience what it's like when you start to get some traction with that, and be excited about where you can go from there in this world. And then you'll start wanting to learn, potentially want to learn to build a business, scale a business, do what I've done. I've got a team now that, depending on how you slice it, has anywhere from 80 to 100 people on it, counting vendors, counting staff, counting contractors, counting employees, counting, domestic, counting international, so many amazing people coming on. And once but here's the thing, you don't have to do that. The new economy, the digital economy, has created an opportunity to be able to get started without having to get buried. When I say that, I'm speaking from experience. 2006, I started, I don't know, it was like my 8th or 10th business. I mean, I had a pretty fancy string of failures in my 20s. And finally, 2006, I had my biggest failure among them. And I started a brick and mortar restaurant, this quick serve restaurant to serve pita wrap sandwiches to the lunch crowd in 2 commercial locations in Houston, Texas. And ultimately we were going to scale it to 10 businesses. I had to hire like 30, I think it was about 30, and it was 14 per store, 14 employees per store, just to serve sandwiches or pita wraps and sell them for like $6. So the old model was like, Jeff, you want to own a business? Great. These are SBA approved franchise opportunities, turnkey. You can't go wrong. Just put your down payment down and borrow hundreds of thousands of dollars so that you can work for years to recoup those hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I was so naive. I thought this sounded great. You can work for years to recoup those hundreds of thousands of dollars, like 20 cents or 60 cents at a time, or if you're lucky, $1 at a time will be your margin on a $6 sandwich. How many $6 sandwiches or pita wraps or whatever you got to say, what's up, Michael Church? Appreciate you being here. How many of those you got to sell to pay off 400? I think for the 2 stores, actually, my total debt when I wrapped up was $495,000. The stores lasted less than 2 years, but the intent was, it was like $500,000 in bank loans. How many $6 sandwiches you got to sell, assuming you're making $1 a piece, to pay off $500,000 in bank loans? I mean, the answer is pretty obvious. $500,000. 500,000 sandwiches just to pay off your loans. That's taking no money as the owner. There she is. Hey, sweet girl. How many of those sandwiches you got to sell? And that was business ownership. And that was even in 2006. The internet already existed, but it was so fringe back then. If I'd said, maybe I could start a business online, people would have said, nah, that's a scam. Go borrow money from the bank and open a sandwich shop. The internet's a scam, but a sandwich shop's a good idea. Woohoo, right? Traditional, brick and mortar, old school business ownership. And by the way, your entire future is going to rest in the hands of like 17-year-old kids working for $7.50 an hour, because your business model doesn't support paying anybody much more than minimum wage. You better hope that those 17-year-old kids and 20-year-old kids, and and I'm not knocking young people. Some of my best friends are like young people. They're smart and capable and intelligent and empowered. And you're right, this is not the Wynn Hotel. I came home today. Yeah, we spent 3 days at the Wynn. I just came home today. But they're like, you better hope that these people making $7.50 an hour, that they care about your business as much as you do, Mr. $500,000 in debt owner, who's going to be completely screwed if this doesn't work out. And assuming that these 30 people that you hired, who you literally cannot afford to pay more than like minimum wage, assuming they do great work and assuming they care about your business and everything goes to plan, then in 5 years, once you have your debt paid off, you can start actually earning some money. Oh, by the way, if those people happen to not treat your business like your own, they happen to not care like you do, you're going to be screwed. Well, so in other words, you're telling me that there's a business model where I can take on hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and put my well-being in the hands of a bunch of people that are making $7.50 an hour. And as long as they care like I care, and as long as they show up on time every day, as long as they don't call in late to work, as long as their car doesn't break down. And by the way, I'm sure if their car breaks down, they'll be able to afford to get it fixed so they can still come into work and be on time based on me paying them $7.50 an hour. I'm sure that'll all work out, right? And as long as all that goes to plan, you'll be cool. In 5 years, you can start taking a paycheck. What the hell, man? How the hell did this become the American model for starting a business? And yet, if I'd said in 2006, I heard about these guys, man, the John Reese and the John Carltons and the Jeff Walkers and the Frank Kerns, these old school pioneers of digital business. Maybe if I go do what they do, then people would say, no, that's a scam. You know what? To all those people, shut the hell up. You don't know shit. Stick with your day job. Don't pretend you know about owning a business. And don't tell me that doing business online is a scam, because listening to you idiots cost me $500,000. How about that? So I shifted out of desperation. 2008, $495,000 in debt. 29 years old in 2008. I'm a jazz piano player. That's the only skill I got to fall back on. It's okay. I'm sure I'll be able to pay off $495,000 in debt playing piano gigs, working for tips. Yeah, that'll go well. I listened to you for plan A, so now I'm sure I should listen to you for plan B, right? No, how about, you know what? How about I ignore you, you knuckleheads, and I finally do what I should have done in the first place, which is go online and learn about the digital economy, learn about the new business model, and start doing stuff that has leverage and scale, lower risk, lower liabilities, and isn't going to ruin my life if it goes bad. Oh, yeah. Jeff says, oh, yeah, in college debt. Yeah, same thing. Go borrow hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a college degree so you can graduate and hopefully get hired to make $50,000 a year. Hopefully. It was a PETA franchise. I'm not going to say which one because who knows? One of their little goons will probably hear me and say, oh, we got to sue this guy. He's talking smack about our franchise. But it was serving PETA wraps. Anyhow. So now what I'm here to say is 2020, this is the year that what I do, finally, I think that it's obvious and it's non-disputable that what I've been saying is now facts, straight hashtag facts, which is this. Say that, girl. Facts. No, she said it, but now she's embarrassed to say it again. Straight facts, which is this. Being an entrepreneur who embraces the new economy business model and learns the skills that I teach is less risky than getting a job. And it is definitely more empowering and gives you more control in your life than getting a job. Look, you want to get a job? Come work for me. Make me rich. That's not what I'm telling you, man. Do it for yourself. And listen, the world needs employees. The world needs people in phases, people in transitional phases. I was just talking to my buddy Wyatt, who's shooting videos. Works for me, just graduated from school, started working for me when he was in college, finishing his senior year. He graduated. He shoots videos for me. He's amazing. But he's been, what are you doing, girl? You gotta just don't twist the valve on the water heater. That's all we need is a flood. And my friend Wyatt, he's he shoots videos for me. Great guy. And he just it's like you hang around this stuff and it osmoses into you and you can't help yourself. Next thing I know, he comes to me today. He said, hey, I had that meeting last week with that real estate agent and I think I got my first client. Like you start learning these skills and all of a sudden you got business owners wanting to pay you thousands of dollars to do these skills for them. Yeah, this is great, man. The numbers are going up. We're about to hit 35,000 on Instagram. We crossed 13,000 subs on YouTube. We just had our first video that got over 10,000 organic, totally non-paid views on YouTube in less than 2 days. I think maybe it's 2 or 3 days. The interview I did with Evan Carmichael. Look, I get the world needs employees, and there's some people that's what they want to do. I'm grateful for those people because they power my machine. And there's other people who are like, I need to do this for a time. For everything there is a season, and this is going to be my season of learning and accruing capital and building a foundation so that I can turn my foundation into my launch pad to ultimately blast off into my own business. I'm cool with all of it, man. But what I'm not cool with is people being sold a bill of goods. People being sold a bill of goods about, well, there's security in this. Borrow. It's craziness. Think about it. You're 18 years old and the world tells you, go ahead and borrow your first 100,000 so you can go to college, so you can graduate. Start chipping away at that debt. The average person, they give them a furlough. What's up, Andres? What's up, Jason? What's up, Elizabeth? What's up, Miko? What's up, Beat the Failure? I like that name. And so then you say, oh, to borrow your first 6 figures so you can finish college, you're 22 years old. Oh, you know what? We're going to give you a few years. You don't actually, average person doesn't start repaying their student debt till they're 26. They give you this little window of time so you feel so safe. It's like giving you a no interest credit card. You don't have to pay interest for a year. You're like, I get free money, right? So I graduate from college. I got $100,000 in debt, but that's cool, man, because I don't have to start paying on it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to mortgage my ass for the next 30 years. Psst. I'm going to boost that debt figure from 100 grand to 400 grand or 300 grand or 500 grand or whatever. That sounds like a recipe for success. Now I'm on the hook until I'm 55. But I probably won't stay in that house forever. I'll build a tiny little sliver of equity, and then in the first 10 years of paying off a mortgage on a 30-year amortization. Let's say it's a $250,000 mortgage in 10 years, you might build, I don't know, 25, 30 grand in equity. And then you're going to sell it and move into another house, get a new 30-year mortgage when you're 30, 35. Now you're on the hook till you retire. And then you retire and you ain't got shit to retire with. We pulled the numbers. I think that was 2 days ago on this live. We looked at the numbers. Average 65-year-old trying to retire is supposed to have $1.5 million in investable savings, and the average 65-year-old trying to retire has like 50 or 60 grand. They're about $1.45 million short. So what are they going to do? They're going to reverse mortgage their house and essentially sell it back to the bank so they can get paid monthly installments to even be able to live in retirement, because these jobs, they're not going to pay you enough to be able to retire someday. I talked to a very successful person 2 days ago who's coming into a mastermind program here in my business. Guy makes $126,000 a year. He got $68,000 in his 401k. He's in his 50s. And he's got a good job. You can't do it. You can't do it. Now you're going to spend the rest of your life getting paid back from the bank for the house that you spent your whole life trying to pay off so that you can die and leave a note to your children so that any assets you do have, any inheritance you do leave, gets sucked up trying to pay off the reverse mortgage so that your beneficiaries even have a shot at getting your house. It's insanity. And the people that think that's a plan are the same people that would tell me that, oh, trying to do business on the internet is a scam. Guys, I don't make this stuff up. It's the world we live in. Can somebody explain to me how what I just described is remotely considered normal? How the hell did we become a world where this is considered a reasonable plan? It's no wonder that I have teenagers reposting my stories and plugging in to my lives and listening to my message, because literally she's 4. She might not be able to get it now, but Stella, my sweet girl, by the time you're 8 or 10 years old, I'm going to be able to explain to you what a giant scam conventional wisdom is. This plan that your teachers and your principals and your guidance counselors and your college professors and your financial planners and your bankers and your mortgage brokers and your employers and your government would try to put you on for the rest of your life will ruin your life. You will be an 80-year-old greeter at Walmart if you follow their plan. Or do you want to follow Daddy's plan? She wants to play with Buzz Lightyear right now. That's all she is worried about right now, is playing with Buzz Lightyear. What? You're not just playing with Buzz? Who else are you playing with? The dog and the Barbie. Who's that? That's Jessie from Toy Story. I'm not letting my kids go down this path. Hell no. Hell no. E-commerce, the digital economy here in the United States is up 129% this year, up to $709 billion. In just the US GDP, $709 billion is now digital. How much more of that is real estate? Those are the only two things I give a hoot about. I mean, I play around. I do a little Monopoly on the side. I buy some crypto. I trade some options. I do fun stuff. Some of the fun stuff you can do to keep your life spicy and interesting once you have a little money to play with. But in terms of core strategies, I do real estate and I do digital commerce for two reasons. Digital commerce, because it's exploding and it will be for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Last year, it was 11% of US GDP. This year, it's 14.5% of US GDP. If it goes up 3% a year, which is admittedly, it won't even go up 3% a year. It happened this year a lot because of COVID. It typically goes up 1-2% a year. We can do this for 20 more years. US GDP, digital commerce will get up to 50, 60, 70% of GDP. It'll top out. I mean, it won't become 100%. People still go buy food at restaurants and, ship packages in person. They go to the postal box or whatever. Like, there's always going to be a physical economy, but how big can digital get? 50, 60, 70%? What kind of opportunity is there for people to plug into something now that's going to grow from 14.5% of US GDP up to 50, 60 over the next few decades? And yet these people are still telling our kids to go sign up to clock in for 8-10 hours a day at a manufacturing facility or a retail facility or a corporate professional services facility. Almost $1.6 trillion in student debt in the United States. Second largest debt category behind mortgages. And you know what number 3 is? Credit cards. My phone just fell off my computer. I swear this happens every time. I need to get a new pop socket. That's what desperately needs to happen in my life, is a new pop socket. Hang on, I gotta reapply my pop socket, try to hang my phone back up. See if maybe this goes a little better this time. I don't know. You know what? It might fall off again. I can handle it. It's because I'm getting all worked up. It's getting steamy in here. Anyway, e-commerce up 129% this year. Biggest year-over-year gain in history because of COVID. But all it did was, I've been saying this whole time, all COVID did was kickstart a little trend. It was just accelerate something. It's called the quickening. Just sped it up a little bit. It's already happening. Alcohol swabs and command service. Yes, thank you guys. I need help. On my pop socket game is weak. Anyway, so let's talk a little more about this trend, because this is where everybody needs to be. It's digital commerce and it's real estate. Digital commerce because it's booming and we have an opportunity to get on a train that is taken off. And real estate because it's the one thing that's never going to change. You know why? Because I give. You know what? I'm setting my phone down here. Apologies. Very unprofessional. My Facebook, YouTube camera is going to be up there. My Instagram camera is going to be down there. So now I'm going to be doing a lot of looking back and forth. It just is what it is. Thank you for your patience while I suffer through these technical difficulties. Hey, sweet girl. Real estate, because again, we have bodies. We take up physical space. We need climate controlled air. We need refrigerators, microwaves, and stoves. We need places to live. Government is the one part it's my hedge. It's my hedge. Digital commerce is where you catch the boom, you catch the gold rush, you make fat stacks of cash, and then you put it into real estate. Because the last thing that the government's going to mess up because the last thing the government wants to be responsible for in the US is having to house 330 million people. And the governments around the world, they don't want to be responsible for housing 7.5 billion people and climbing, right? So that's my strategies. Tap into the gold rush, make your fat cash, put it into real estate, which is the ultimate insurance policy against government screwing something up, because the last people the government wants to disincentivize is the people that actually keep land and property rentable and habitable. Those are the only things that, like I said, I'm really, really interested in. So let's talk more about that. How do you capture the wave, capture the trend? Because look, obviously within those digital economy statistics, and by the way, the digital economy globally next year is projected to be $4.9 trillion. Over 20% of that of those transactions happen through affiliate marketing. By the way, that means as of next year, affiliate marketing will officially crack the mark of being $1 trillion industry. You guys hearing these numbers? Now, look, I know there's Amazon. I know there's Google. I know there's Facebook. I know there's Apple. I know there's Spotify. I know there's Twitter. I know there's these big platforms that bring in a lot of revenue. Let's assume that they bring in 2/3 of all that revenue, which is, by the way, way more than it is. But let's assume that the 100 biggest internet companies are responsible for 2/3 of all that revenue. There's still a few $100 billion for like 20,000. I don't know how many people are like Entre. We've had, 50, 55, maybe pushing 60,000 people that have bought our basic training, but they're not all actively involved in digital economy business. What's up, Tui? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Michael? Appreciate you being here. They're not all actively involved in that. We've had our goal, our 10-year target right now inside of Entre is to graduate 100,000 raving fans. That's actually our term, raving fans, which is, we have definitions of what that means, but we're trying to graduate 100,000 raving fans from our new economy business training in 10 years. Look, there's room for 100 times that many people to all go make $1 million plus online. Like this is huge. Yes, I do have some very stubborn friends who don't follow what I do. I have other stubborn friends. Here's the thing. It's not like a personal thing. You can't force people to believe. I was talking about this on a podcast earlier. By the way, Jeff, we recorded that podcast I mentioned, Jacqueline and I, earlier today. It was great fun. Thanks for inspiring that with what you did with your fiance. And we had great fun. We were talking about parents trying to make their kids believe certain things and how you can telling your kid, like, we believe in the church of blah, 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 whatever, is like telling your kid, we believe in wearing purple shirts. Well, the kid might be like, okay, I'll wear a purple shirt to get you off my back. That's something they put on externally. It doesn't mean they believe in purple shirts. That's a ridiculous thing to believe in. But honestly, it's no less ridiculous of a thing to believe in than telling your kids what to believe in anything, because belief is something that grows from within. It's not shoved in from without, right? And so that's how I look at it. The people, they hear me, they see what I do, and it's cool, man. I'm going to keep doing my thing. You want to influence people, inspire them. Show them, lead by example, be the best student. My goal is to simply be the valedictorian of the Entre student body. I am competitive about it. Not because I want to beat people, but because I don't accept the idea that anybody can do more than me. But you shouldn't either. You shouldn't accept the idea that anybody can do more than you when it comes to a business model that's simply built around, being vulnerable and being committed to delivering value to the world. How can anybody beat anybody else at that game? I resist the notion that anybody could be more passionate about delivering value to the world than me. If they are, I should just up my game, right? Because it just shows what's possible. It's not like the high jump where there's some genetic makeup you have to be able to clear a bar that, some other guy like Jeff Lerner would never be able to clear. This is just about being passionate about delivering value to the world. How can anybody outvalue someone else? Just care more. It's not how good you are, it's how much you care, right? There's no cap on that. So I'm committed to being the valedictorian of the Entre student body, but you could be the valedictorian too. We could all share. That's the beautiful thing. There's room for lots of valedictorians. Marie just said it. She said, I want to be valedictorian too. So anyway, so I get all worked up and I kind of veer off track. But here's the thing. So the trend, this is what I was talking about, is let's assume that 2/3 of that are being captured by these large organizations and that 1/3 of it is the leftover for the little guys like us, right? That's still so much, man. 1/3 of the global digital economy, that's what, as of next year, that's going to be $1.6 trillion. I'll take that. That's right, Jason. You give me a run for my money. That's what I'm talking about. This is a fun and very healthy type of competition. So here's the key for the little guys, right? The little guys like us. How do we hook into this? Let's call it the $1.6 trillion slice of the pie that's available to us, because we're not Facebook and we're not Amazon and we're not Netflix and we're not Google. FANG. Now I just gave you the FANG acronym: Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. That's a saying in the stock market for tracking tech. They say, how's FANG doing today, right? You just need the tiniest little slice, but here's how you get it. So there's another trend within the e-commerce data, which is the trend of personalization. So these big companies, they're spending all this money to install this software that creates a more personalized experience for the user. That's where the opportunity lies, because you know who's got the advantage when it comes to creating a personalized transactional experience for a customer? A person. It's a whole lot easier for a person to personalize and a person to be personable and a person to build a personal relationship than a big business. In fact, it's one of the challenges Entre faces, is that as we scale, as we bring in thousands and thousands of customers, how do we stay personal? How do we keep feeling one-to-one? This is the advantage of the little guy. And so how do you go to market and tap into that trend? The way to be personal, the way to personalize, is to be personal and personable. This is why I'm so obsessed with what my friend Dion calls human branding. A lot of people use the term personal branding. I interviewed Dion yesterday. He convinced me to switch that to human branding, because personal branding feels very artificial. He said that term sounds artificial, like you're trying to create this brand of a person, when in reality, it's about letting your humanity express. Human branding is how you leverage the trend, the desire of personalization, which is people's desire to have value and to be validated through their business experiences and to not just feel like a number, right? You can create that as the little guy. That's the advantage that you have. It's the advantage that I've had this whole time. Influencer marketing. It's why influencer marketing is exploding. Listen to this. 7% of all US companies this year will spend over $1 million on influencer marketing. And you may think 7%, that's not a huge number. That's 2.2 million businesses in the United States. There's 31.2 million businesses in the United States. 7% of them is roughly 2.2 million businesses. How many businesses have the budget to spend $1 million at all on marketing within that group? It's not 31 million. It might be like 5 million, 3 million. I don't know. And of those, 2.2 million of them are planning to spend at least $1 million this year on influencer marketing. Why are they doing that? Because they recognize that the little guy, and an influencer is a little guy. An influencer is a solopreneur. Sure, they might have a creative team, but it's somebody who's built a brand around personal connection. And these big businesses are recognizing the value in hooking in to people with personal connections with their audience, so they can leverage that, so that they can transfer that relationship to the brand. That's why they're spending $1 million plus on influencer marketing. And anyone has the ability to tap into this phenomenon. And I'm not saying you have to become a big influencer. I'm saying that you do have the opportunity to go build a business with a personal dynamic that's an extension of your human brand. That's the opportunity today. That is how you tap in to the digital economy, even as a little guy. start generating fat stacks of money. And then if you're me, you flip around, you put it into real estate because you realize that's the last thing that the government's going to screw up, because everybody's always going to need a place to live, and the government doesn't want to have to be responsible for that. Right? Hey, sweet girl.
Dad,
What?
the people are here.
The people are here?
Yeah.
And why is that so sad?
Because I don't want it. Because I need
Just stay with daddy. Just stay with daddy. We've got some family coming over, and she doesn't do so well with new people sometimes. So, hey, just sit with daddy. Can daddy finish his life? And you stay with me?
I want to in here because.
Okay, listen, just give me 1 minute, okay? Maybe 2 to 5 minutes. So listen, guys, I'm going to share with you. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put something on the screen. And I think this is going to be our topic for tomorrow. And hang on, I'm going to put it on the screen. This is a $2,000 gift that I'm about to give you. And when I say that, what I mean by that is I'm going to No, sorry, I can't pull myself off the screen because I kill the audio. And if you're on Instagram, trust me, I'm sensitive to that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this other thing on the screen. Hang on. I gotta expand it so that you don't see the Hall of Mirrors effect. And then I'm going to flip this. This is a $2,000 value right there. See those 13 rules of sales and marketing? I want you to take note of that, because tomorrow, I'm sorry, on Monday, I forgot tomorrow, Saturday. On Monday, we're going to talk through this on the live. These 13 rules of sales and marketing. We're going to talk through on the live on Monday. This is a $2,000 value, like I said. And here's what I mean by that. Let me know for Facebook. I know Instagram could see it because I can see what they saw. But Facebook and YouTube, you guys, let me know that you could see that list, and I'll explain a little more about it. Yes, Jeff, the name of the makeup influencer that broke Shopify was Jeffree Star, Starr. So anyways, here's the deal. So that was I went through a $2,000 copywriting course. Brian says it was really small. Let me blow it up again. Hang on. I'm going to make it bigger for you. Jeff's always doing what he can to bring you the value. Hold on. I'm going to make it even bigger still. Where's the plus sign? There we go. All right, you guys should be able to see that nice and big. In fact, I'm gonna flip the Insta video again too, real quick. There you go. 13 rules of sales and marketing. Yeah, and if you're on Instagram, you can rewatch the replay on Facebook and YouTube, but I'm also showing it on my phone right now. Okay, so here's the deal. I went through because I was getting ready to redo a presentation for myself, a sales presentation, and I was brushing up on some old trainings that I've been through. There was a $2,000 course. I'm not going to say which one it is because I feel like that's not totally appropriate to be like, hey, here's this course free, because it's actually a course from someone I know really well. But Marie, that's pretty good. But anyway, those 13 rules of what the heck happened to it? 13 rules of sales and marketing. This is how you do what I'm describing. It's how you take your human brand that you develop and you flip it into a business. Because here's the thing. So I found this article, and if you go Google, like this is why the internet is so messy and unhelpful sometimes. If you go Google right now, like how to start a digital business, or how to succeed in the pandemic economy or whatever. There's all these articles of people that are like, they're reporters, they're journalists, they're hobbyists. Look, really, really successful, like multi-millionaire digital marketers, they're not publishing articles right now on Medium and entrepreneur.com and Forbes.com about like, here's how to start a digital business. So you Google and you get all this free content that's written by a bunch of dilettantes. I found this article over here, 198 free tools to help you through the coronavirus pandemic. And it's a list. You know what the number one thing on the list is? Zoom. Wow, that's groundbreaking. And then Ring Central. You mean I can get a VoIP phone service over the internet? Oh yeah, here's the third thing on the list. Google. That's a tool that's going to help you through the pandemic. Slack. Comcast? Literally, they put an internet service provider and a cable company on a list of things that are supposed to help me through the pandemic. There's all these people talking about this stuff like they have any clue how to actually turn it into a business that makes money for the little guy. It's ridiculous. Don't believe all the clutter and cluster of noise online that's trying to latch into this trend because they think that it'll get them eyeballs on their content. They don't know what they're talking about. This is a $2,000 course I bought from one of the best copywriters in the world about how to create presentations that will allow you to convert your human brand into business, into money, into revenue. And so because of the time of how long I probably talk too much. Like I'll own it at this point. I'm not saying Xfinity is bad. I'm saying it's not going to solve your pandemic problem. It's a tool. It's like saying, a hammer and a nail will get you through the pandemic problem. It's no, like you got to like learn how to use the tools, right? So that's what I'm going to teach you on the next live on Monday. I'm going to talk through these 13 rules of sales and marketing. This is the entirety of the content from a $2,000 course. And it's virtually everything I've learned about how to convert these ideas, these desires, this good intentions, and these personality, human characteristics that you use to craft a brand and ultimately construct a business offer, and how to convert them formulaically into a systematic way of making a ton of money. Somebody said, what time? I can't guarantee a time, especially Mondays are crazy. It's going to be somewhere between 4 and 6 Mountain Time. That's my window when I go live every weekday now. So somewhere between 4 and 6, I'm going to be doing that. That said, if Stella's telling me that the family's here, the family's actually staying out here in the casita tonight, which means I might well be, occupying their space that they need to come out to. That means I'm going to go. I probably talked enough anyways. Love, appreciation, grace, gratitude, humility, blessings to me and to you, for everyone. Thank you. Peace. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday. Take care, world.